In this video, we're going to be looking at a confidence interval for the difference of two proportions. And our question says, refer to exercise 12.91 and find and interpret a 90% confidence interval for the difference between the proportions of seatbelt users for drivers in the age groups 25 to 34 years and 45 to 64 years. And I put question 12.91 up. This is the question that we did in the video before for comparing two proportions, and our N1 was equal to 1000 and our P1 was equal to 0.27 and our N2 is equal to 1100 and our P2 was equal to 0.3. And then we're doing a 90% confidence interval. And here in the 12.91, we were doing a 10% significance level two-tailed test. So the Z alpha over 2, which we're going to need, is the exact same, and we can look at the table. If we go to 90% confident and we go to Z, it's 1.645, just like it was in the hypothesis test. So Z alpha over 2 is equal to 1.645. And now our formula is going to be P1 minus P2 plus or minus Z alpha over 2 times the square root of P1 times 1 minus P1 divided by N1 plus P2 times 1 minus P2 divided by N2. So P1 was equal to 0.27 minus P2 is 0.3 plus or minus Z alpha over 2 is 1.645 times the square root of P1 is 0.27 times 1 minus P1, 1 minus 0.27, divided by 1000, plus P2 was 0.3 times 1 minus 0.3, divided by 1100. And when we calculate this, 0.27 minus 0.3 is equal to negative 0.03 plus or minus 0.032. So our confidence interval is negative 0.062 is less than pi 1 minus pi 2 is less than 0.002. And we can see that our confidence interval includes 0, so that means we're not significant. It's possible that the difference is 0 between pi 1 and pi 2. And if you watched the video before on comparing two proportions, you'd have found that we failed to reject this as well. So you can see that the two tests tell the same story, it's just a different method of getting it. And now we need a conclusion statement for this. And our conclusion is, this interval was constructed using a process that would 90% of the time in repeated samplings the same size and type as this one produce an interval that includes the difference between the proportion of seatbelt users for drivers in the age group 25 to 34 years old and 45 to 64 years old. And that's our video on confidence interval for the difference of two proportions.